been a Transformers fan for as long as I can remember. One of the first toys I ever owned as a kid was an Autobot named Hubcap. And yet, for as long as I loved both Transformers and video games, the two of them never really seemed to mingle until the last 10-15 years or so, meaning we missed out on having a game based upon the original cartoon I and so many others grew up with, until the surprising announcement of Transformers Devastation, a cel-shaded brawler based upon the Generation 1 cartoon and developed by action game heavyweights Platinum.
On the plus side, I think we finally get to bust some Decepticons.
The humans are evacuated and our mission is clear. Save the city and stop Megatron.
Eschewing the shooting-focused approach of the recent War for Cybertron series or the half-hearted open-world style used for the Michael Bay movie games, Transformers Devastation is exactly what you would expect from a Platinum title. Ridiculous cutscenes, over-the-top visual effects, and finely tuned combat that primarily focuses on chaining melee attacks together while nimbly dodging enemies, occasionally interspersed with shooting a collection of pretty improbable guns. Except in Transformers, sometimes you're a car, and that's great.
Devastator.
The idea of being a car, or specifically a robot that turns into a car, is maybe the thing that Devastation handles most impressively. Aside from the brilliant waves of fan service the game provides, the idea of being a Transformer is put across very well in this game in ways that a lot of other Transformers games would only sort of hint at. Your vehicle mode actually factors into combat, allowing you to perform certain attacks or chain moves together in ways that you couldn't if you stuck with robot mode for the entire game. And many missions force you to turn into a vehicle to pursue an escaping Decepticon much faster than you would on foot. I should take a second to clarify something. All apologies to the Decepticon fans out there, but this game is strictly Autobots only. Me, a man with an Autobot tattoo, I'm thrilled about this, but I can see why it would be off-putting to some.
Hey, watch the paint!
Of course, any good Transformers game would also do poorly by focusing too much on the novelty of turning into a truck, sports car, or dinosaur, and Devastation avoids this pitfall by actually being, fun and well made. The combat feels fantastic. Of course it does, it's a Platinum game, with responsive and intuitive controls that will have you dodging attacks and swinging laser axes like a pro in no time, even if the moveset or combo system isn't nearly as deep or nuanced as other Platinum titles. Enemy encounters are always fun, and even if the enemy variety isn't particularly wide, the game makes up for it by constantly forcing you to change tactics and adapt to new situations or parameters. And as befitting to the Transformers universe, which tends to rely on conflicts between named characters as opposed to armies of nameless drones, this game has a ton of boss fights. Basically all of them fun, if not occasionally rage-inducing, especially when it's Starscream. To help add to the variety, Transformers Devastation also tends to throw in a lot of, not mini-games exactly, but missions where the usual format is broken up, like with some turret-based missions. Side-scrolling shooter areas. and missions where the camera angle changes to help you accomplish a goal. While it still doesn't change the fact you feel like you fight the same nameless 6 guys every time, it does help to change the tension and pacing. For those kids who like to take apart and reassemble their Transformers growing up, I was pleasantly surprised to find the game also included a small but noteworthy customization aspect. There's some leveling up as you go through the game to increase your chosen Autobot stats, and you can find items and merge them together to create other, more different items. It ain't Dark Souls, but it adds some fun and some unexpected depth to the proceedings. Look, I'm trying to avoid as much nostalgic bias as possible here, even stripping away the fact that I have really been waiting for this exact game since I was 5 years old. Transformers Devastation is a ton of fun. It doesn't quite have the polish or variety to stand up with Platinum's more renowned works, but everything in this game, from the combat to the customization to the love it shows the Transformers universe as a whole, comes together and works exactly like you'd want it to. Transformers fans will love it, action fans will find something to enjoy even if it's a little simpler than they're used to, and Decepticon fans will remember it as the game where Bumblebee can somehow kill Megatron. For that alone, it's getting a 4 out of 5. But before I go, I'm going to say a lot of words that will only mean something to Transformers fans. Let's start here. I think these guys are supposed to be Runamuck and Runabout. Nemesis Prime.
Hey!
Goldbug, not Goldfire. Red Alert.
They really are out to get us.
Nova Prime.
Ship crashed on Earth? What are the odds?
Nova Prime's mission was to preserve our culture.
Blitzwing. The Insecticons. The Decepticon capital city of Kaon. Science Officer G-Axis. Wheeljack's Immobilizer. And even this big guy, who I think is supposed to be Frenzy. For GIZORAMA, I'm Tim Allen, and I've always wanted to say this. Transform and roll out!